guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This guy's 37 years old. He's married not too long now, I think 3 years, something like that. Does very well for himself, owns his own business. And the problem is is with his wife. Big surprise. Turns out that she is a stay-at-home wife. No job, no career, nothing, except, guess what, there's no kids. Or even a kid on the way. All she does is stay at home, look at TikTok videos, and shop online, and guess what? She's miserable. And I might add, this guy spoils her rotten with vacations, buying her lavish things, all that, and guess what? Still, she's not happy. Well, recently she decided to start a consulting business to help actors get gigs and all that, and she's crossed the line with one of the guys she coaches. And this guy's had enough with her, particularly because they haven't slept together in a year. And he wants to know pretty much, should he cut his losses and move on? And I'll be going to go over here, guys, making the point that if you do very well for yourself, your wife should, if you're married and there are no kids and no children on the way, she should have a job. She should have a career, someplace that she goes every day, not just sitting at home, watching Netflix, TikTok, shopping, and doing nothing else. This is not going to go well. And a woman that does that, the odds are she married you for your money, for your resources. She can milk it from you. There are plenty of women out there looking for a guy who's done well for himself, doesn't love him, doesn't care about him, just wants to use him. And I think this situation is it. And you got to make sure she's doing something. However, if she is doing something, it's got to be something that's not going to have a negative impact on your marriage like you're going to see here. So guys, you got to understand that there are women out there that are going to use guys. You got to be careful, all that type of thing. But anyhow, I'm going too much here. You're going to see as I get into this, and we can hopefully help this guy. And I might add also, you must realize, gentlemen, this is another important theme to this video. There's a point where you mess up and you cut your losses and move on. End of story. So, says here, hey SSM, I wanted to get your 2 cents on the situation I've been dealing with over the last couple weeks, as I'm about to end my relationship and I'm not sure if I'm overreacting. Basically, my wife, Carol, a 30-year-old female, and I, Jake, 37, have been together for the past 3 years. And for the most part, it's been a marriage made in heaven. Bro, I've read this twice. There's no way I would ever classify or label your marriage as something made in heaven. It doesn't sound like that at all. I think you are deluding yourself. We don't have any kids, but Carol is a stay-at-home wife since I have a computer programming business, and I make a very lucrative living. Well, congratulations on your business. I hope you know about AI and are getting in the AI line of work, because they'll do very well. Well, why the hell is she a stay-at-home? What is she doing all day? She should have a career. No kids on the way. What the hell? This is your problem. You should not allow that. But let me guess, she's beautiful, and this is your way to give her that great life and feel like a man doing that. Well, watch how it backfires. I provide my wife with everything. Lavish gifts, exotic trips, designer clothes, and fancy cars. Yet for some reason, she remains quite unsatisfied with her daily life. Smack! So in other words, she's like a spoiled child. The parents just give, and the kids just take, and demand more, and they're never happy. Isn't that amazing? Well, I think I once or twice compared women to behaving like children. Well, here you go. This is the problem, dude. This is probably why she's with you. And the more you give her, the more she loses respect for you. Mostly, I work about 12 hours a day while she stays at home, engages in impulse buying on Amazon, and watches TikTok videos. And here is where the situation becomes problematic. You create a monster, man. I'm telling you. And by the way, you said you've been together 3 years. Have you been married 3 years? Or you've known her a total 3 years and got married like literally right after you met her? Probably trying to buy her affection. My wife ended up following some guru account about female empowerment and all the rest of it. And somewhere along the way, at the advice of a 20-year-old male feminist guru, Carol opened her own consulting LLC. What the hell skills does she have to consult anybody about with? I mean, obviously you left that part out, but still. Now, hey, that's great she's doing something with her time, but you're about to see that this is not good. He says, okay, that sounds like a noble move on paper, but there are serious problems. Her service is to provide coaching for actors, and although her intentions are good, the only people who hire her are men who find her attractive. Well, man, I figure since you make a lot of money and all that, you didn't marry some ugly bitch. She's good looking. How do you think you got her? You've been bribing her all along with your gifts to get her. And yes, those guys are probably hiring her because they want to get with her. In particular, she has one client named Ben, who is my age, and clearly wants to get in her pants. Brother, I guarantee lots of guys have always wanted to get in her pants. 2 of the 3 scripts they are rehearsing involve romantic themes, along with actual French kissing and cuddling. She came home smelling like his cologne, and when I took issue with the facts, she got real snippy with me, ranting about my insecurities and how I want to oppress her dreams. You said she got inspired by some female empowerment guru on TikTok. Guru? Did this motherfucker of a man bun? Was he eating his avocado toast while he was doing his little TikTok videos? She's gaslighting you, man. I want her to do something with her time, but not this. This is when you need to lay down the law. Furthermore, she's been denying me intimacy for almost a year now. A year? You've been giving her this lavish lifestyle and bombarding her with gifts, basically buying her affection, bribing her for sex, but ironically, you're not getting any sex? That is unacceptable. What the hell you married her for? What do you get out of this? I'm willing to bet you she doesn't clean or cook or do anything. She's getting it someplace. When I try to discuss it with her, she says things like, I'm not an object of pleasure, I'm a person, and goes right back to watching TikTok. Okay, then you can cancel her account. I'm sure it's in your name. Cancel her phone service. Now, to be fair, this could have a deeper context since Carol has some of the most enormous boobs in the world. I think she's just a little jaded by all the attention. Smack, smack, smack. No, she's not jaded by the attention. In fact, she probably feels like she doesn't get enough attention. What a load of crap. She is your wife. There are certain wifely duties. Now, certainly, nobody should do anything they physically aren't comfortable with. Well, at that point, then you have grounds to end it. What are you getting out of this marriage? I know what she's getting out of this marriage. She's making out like a bandit. It's a great business deal for her, but you're getting a shitty business deal. And you're a businessman. But how many times are we well aware of very famous, successful businessmen in this world that are terrible with their wives and their choices of women? Although I must admit, post-27, gravity has started having an impact on her without a bra. She looks almost elderly, so she shouldn't be too full of herself at this point. Oh, so her boobs are so big they're already starting to sag at 30 years old. That's going to continue. Regardless, I can't get the image of her kissing another man out of my mind. But at the same time, I don't want to be controlling. Smack! Dude, you are letting yourself be so manipulated here. Even if it's for the art of professional acting, I feel really uncomfortable about it. To make matters worse, I've been quite upset, and I think she can tell. Dude, of course she can tell. And she doesn't care. I don't know, man. I'm seriously considering filing for divorce. Is that too much? What would you do? What would I do? I wouldn't be in this situation, brother. But since you want to know what I would do if I was in this situation, here's what I would do. Cut your fucking losses. You're a businessman. You understand sometimes that when you try something else in your business, in your line of work, a different venture, sometimes it doesn't work out. And you try and try and try, and eventually you got to cut your losses and move on. You may learn something from the experience, but then you move on. Same thing here. I don't know if you've been married 3 years or you've been together 3 years and married part of those 3 years, but whatever it is, it's short. Divorce her. Take the hit and move on. I just hope like hell you were smart enough to have a good, solid prenup. A prenup that you have a prenup, she has a prenup, you did it well enough in advance, there's no confusion, that type of thing, that she doesn't own a piece of your business. But she will get something out of this, guaranteed. I'm sure she probably counted on that. I have a very hard time believing in the last year that you weren't getting any, that she wasn't getting it someplace else. No doubt probably with some of her clients, okay? Probably, how do you think she got clients? I mean, yes, I'm sure they're there hoping to get her, but let's be realistic here. And the fact that she's giving you an attitude about wanting to have sex and the stay-at-home wife. So, bro, cut your losses and move on, just like an investment or a venture that isn't working out, and move on into story. And you're not allowed to get married ever again. Or at least, you know what? Since this is your first marriage, I'm assuming maybe you might learn one day, so maybe not for 10 years. And I want to hear, I want to have kids. No, you got to work on yourself because you're not very good with women. You need to watch lots and lots of my videos. And maybe 10 years from now, after you've learned a lot, maybe you can do that again and get some sons and get some heirs. But in that time period, you need to take a break from women altogether. Focus on your business. Get through the divorce. It is not going to get better. Some people say, SSM, you're always about divorce her. That's it. Well, yeah, because guess what? She has no respect for this guy. The only reason she's with him, look at her actions, is to get shit out of it. She's got a great business deal. She's the good businesswoman. But come on, man. You must understand this. And I know you don't want to go through divorce and go through that humiliation. Just take the fucking hit and move on and learn from this. And in the future, when you're with a girl that you really like, don't buy their affection. I understand marriage is a business deal. Anybody with a fucking brain knows that. But most of the time, it's a great business deal for the women. It's not for the guys, as you can plainly see. You want a girl who's into you for you. So that means you got to kind of, if you have to act like Eddie Murphy and Coming to America and act like you don't have a whole lot when you're courting and meeting different women so they actually like you for you, so be it. But good luck nowadays because people can find out anything about anybody. But regardless, that's how you have to go in the future. But right now, talk to your lawyer, your businessman. I'm sure you have a lawyer, or I'm sure your business lawyer can point you in the direction of a divorce attorney. Lay it all out, find out what kind of hit you're going to take, and move on. And don't do this shit again. So guys, you're with a girl, you get married, fine. Make sure you're with her longer than just a couple years. Really get to know her. And remember, plenty of gals out there, as you're aware, will date a certain type of guy, if you will, in their teens and 20s. The guys that give them the butterflies, the Chad and Tyrones, hoping to get that top percent guy. And while this guy here could be a top percent guy in terms of his assets and what he earns, in other areas, it isn't doing it for her. Why? Because if he did it for her in that area, she'd be fucking his brains out 3 times a day. And that ain't happening for a long time. She probably did just enough to rope you in, get a ring, and move on. And I might add, she's 30. So obviously you got married right before she turned 30. She was looking for a ring, looking for a husband, for her market value, if it will, ended when she turned 30. Because we know when they hit 30, obviously that's a turning point for women. Actually, late 20s is a turning point, but you get what I mean. And there are plenty of good-looking women in their 30s and great gals, but it's not the same as their prime in their 20s. So, guys, don't be like this guy. Don't bombard them with all the... Don't buy their affection. It ain't going to go well. And for all that sacred and holy, even if you do well, she has to do something with her time that's sitting on her ass, watching fucking TikTok and Netflix and reruns of Game of Thrones, and shopping all day because she has nothing else to do. But what she does with her time, if she isn't raising kids and having kids, is something to benefit the family, but nothing that's going to disgrace you. And if she doesn't care how you feel, that says everything you need to know. Bro, your wife has demonstrated repeatedly through her actions, you mean nothing to her. Yeah, okay, I'm sure she's pretty and looks good for you when you have to go to like some kind of, event, if you will, some charity function or some fucking thing at the club. But beyond that, not worth it, man. You don't want to be the guy that everybody's laughing at behind the scenes because your wife's hooking up with Joe and Larry and Tom, okay? Joe and Larry and Tom are having a good old time, but you're not having a good old time. So, man, do what you got to do and end it. And so it is what it is. You got plenty of things going on in your life that's good. You can recover. You know you can. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. I know you want to give him a piece of your mind. But for all you guys who have been divorced, let him know what he can expect, what he can go through. And those of you out there that may have made the same mistakes, and I guarantee there's some of you, share what you learned and all that. Hopefully we can help him out. And guys, don't make this guy's mistake ever again. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.